Hello guys, welcome to another Ginger Red Hair video. This right here is Kanye West tier list of all the Kanye West albums. Now, I have not listened to them all. I have to be honest about that. I have listened to some of them. That is why I have a Kanye West Ultrafan on the channel. He has been on the channel before. It was for top 5 Kanye West songs, but he got a bit screwed over by the there was some issues in the editing with his mic. But how are you doing, Stan?
I'm doing very good. I have a question though before we begin.
All right.
Like, will the viewers be able to see my cam?
No, do you want them to be able to see that, or?
No, I definitely don't want that.
Okay, they can't see that, so
Okay,
okay.
that's good.
So but let's start off with the first one. This one is Kids See Ghost. I
Yeah,
think
you listen to that one.
this is it's only 20 minutes long, and I think that it's not Kanye West album. What Kanye West just features on the album, right?
Well, he made it with this guy called Kid Cudi.
Okay, but it's only
So
it's
it
only
is,
20 minutes.
yeah, but it is kind of West album.
All right, okay.
Um, did you listen to this?
I have not listened to it actually. I have listened to one song. I remember you showed me once, and I remember I thought the production was quite good.
Hmm? It's very underrated. But before we begin rating, I just wanna sort of introduce myself to the viewers.
All
I'm
right.
gonna do it very short. I'm basically #1 fan of Kanye West on Spotify. I listen to him around 20 hours a day, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But Kids See Ghost, it's a very controversial album. Some people like it, some people don't. It's one of those ifs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's your take on the album?
Well, again, I haven't heard the album, but it sounded like it was good production, and it sounded like a form of dream pop, hip hop kind of
Yeah.
music, and very modern. But I do think we should take into consideration the fact that the album is only 20 minutes long. That
Mm.
is not a very long time. That should also be taken into consideration, I think.
Yeah, it's a sort of a psychological album, if you can say that, or psychedelic album. I think that's a
Right.
better way to say it.
I
It
see.
reminds me very much of the style of Travis Scott, at least his old style.
Right.
So I feel like we could put this album in C or D.
All right.
And I know some people are gonna think, yo, that's kind of ass, but you need to
Mm.
remember that this is Kanye West.
Yeah, and I also remember it's only 20 minutes long. And
Mm.
just for the kind of rules or whatever, we need to have at least one album in every, I think, one in F
Yeah,
and at least one in F and at least one in S. But
yeah.
I haven't really heard this. Considering it's only 20 minutes long, I would not necessarily mind putting it at D, but I don't know. I could see, I mean, it's really up to you. Do you think C or D?
I think let me see some of the other albums. I think C. I think C. Because
Okay.
there's some very good songs on there. For example, Reborn is one of my favorite.
I'm kind of surprised you said that it was kind of similar to Travis Scott, kind of like Rodeo kind of sound, which is, I think, very different to what I can see at least on the album cover, which sounds like some sort of like pop, almost kind of hip hop kind of music. But yeah,
Mm.
um, let's take this next one. Is a pretty big one. This is from 2013. Jesus. So I've heard this album. I think that it is not his best album because I will say what that is when we get to it. But I think that it's probably, it might be the second best I've heard. I'm not completely certain. I think Hold My Liquor is arguably, I don't think it is, but I think it's arguably Kanye West's best song, Hold My Liquor.
That's crazy. That's
It's
crazy. I think you're
amazing.
alone on that one.
I don't think I'm alone. It's so good with the production, and it's so unique. It has, especially the start, like sonically, it's such a nice song. Um, and generally, production on this album is very good. I would actually say, uh, for me personally, I would say A. Let me hear what you think.
Yeah, so this album wasn't very well received back in 2013. I remember very clearly, I was hyped as fuck for this album to be released. And I was also just kind of disappointed, back then. But now here 10 years later, it's it has been remembered as an album that sort of did the opposite of what was considered normal music back then. And I think that's very ballsy, and I think you have to give him credit for that. So I feel like an A is completely acceptable.
Yeah, I feel like A, and I wouldn't even like protest if somebody maybe said S, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this next album, I can already give a little spoiler. I know you think this next album is quite underrated, I think. I have
Mm.
not heard it. I have only heard that song, which is called Closed on Sunday, because you have showed me that song a lot. You think it's an extremely good song, and to be honest,
Yeah.
I also think that it is a very good song. I actually think it's a
Yeah.
really good song. So just for that, I would say it's at least at Kitsy Ghost. But again,
Mm.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, I could definitely put Jesus is King on C. I feel like just that's just where it belongs, you know. It's not better than Kitsy Ghost, it's not worse.
Would you say
But
would
it's
you would
definitely overhated. It's definitely overhated.
okay? But you wouldn't say B. You wouldn't say it's better.
No.
Interesting. I mean, C. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't like the album cover though. It's kind of like he tried to do what he did with Yeezus, kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
but it just kind of didn't work out very well. But
Yeah.
this next song, this next album, Donda, I haven't heard it either. Um, the album cover is terrible. I have heard,
That's fucking shit.
yeah, I've heard one song, "Come to Life." Thought it was pretty good.
Mhm.
Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, not
Off the
as
grid as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that one as well. So what do you think about this album? You have heard it.
Yeah, this album gives me very strong Lil vibes, you know, Lil Pump and these kind of guys.
Oh yeah.
Um, just has that, you know, Lil Uzi, you know, a Gen Z rap vibe to it. I just feel like this is not Kanye West. It does have some gems though. For example, Come to Life and Off the Grid and maybe Praise God with Travis Scott. But overall, I can confidently say that this is the worst Kanye West album of all time.
Damn.
Maybe you could say that Vultures is better.
Whoa,
You can actually say that. So I'm gonna say D.
okay. But the thing is, Donda has come to life. I know that. I think it's a quite good song. I don't believe Vultures has have any songs that are better. Am I
Yeah.
like wrong?
You're right. I will put Vultures in F and then D and then Thunder on D.
Okay. Okay, we can just talk about Vultures already now. Like,
Yeah.
do you have anything to say about Vultures, the newest album? This is Vultures Volume One.
I was disappointed as fuck. You know, Kanye's obviously bipolar, so I just miss him being that humble guy, you know. This is kind of the same thing with Donna. This album gives me extremely strong Lil vibes. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It's
Just tries to fit in with all the other rap shit on the market. So I
it's
think this was shit.
it's
I
kind
was
of
so
like
fucking mad.
I think it has some good moments, like some moments where you
Yeah,
start the song, so then you think, "Whoa, this could be a really good song," but the production just seems very like messy, and there seems like there's no string, like whatever it's called, like between the different elements in the music. It just seems like it's random elements kind of put together as a song. Like the elements don't like one each element doesn't have anything like it doesn't naturally come after the preceding element, if you know what I mean. Like it's just random noise, not random noise, but it's just like random elements. It's kind of weird.
yeah, I agree.
So I would put it
I agree.
so how about graduation? I think graduation is really good. I would definitely
Yeah, me
put it
too.
at least, I mean, at least A, you know.
Let me see. Ooh, yeah, this is tough. This is tough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do A. I can do A.
Okay, I can do it. Yeah, I think it has some of Kanye West. I think it's like very like it doesn't really have any bad songs, you know.
Yeah.
Very consistent. So this
I feel like
next
I feel like if you're a Kanye West noob, you would say Graduation.
is what the best.
Yeah, it's the best album.
Okay, I see. Um, but how about College Dropout?
Wait, can you wait like 1 minute?
Okay,
Okay, sorry, man.
all right. How about College Dropout?
College Dropout. That's a super interesting one. That's the first album from Kanye West. You have also heard this album, so I just wanted you to start this time.
Yeah, it's true. I have heard this album. It's quite a while ago. I am thinking it is probably about 2 years ago since I heard this album. And to be honest, I don't even know that much about it because I never went back to any of the songs in this album. I didn't think much about it. I did think there was some good moments, and I did think that the production was good. I have heard some people say that this is Kanye West's best album. I
Yeah.
just didn't think that it was that great when I heard it. I don't know why.
Yeah. I feel like this is I feel like it's not ridiculous to say that this is the best debut album of all time. Do you agree? Like you have to
No, no,
remember
no.
that he was not
Damn,
known for anything. He just came onto the market with this,
that's
a
crazy.
completely new sound. And he sort of changed the rap game back then. Now I should have talked about this when we mentioned Graduation, but completely threw he completely launched a different era in rap. So back then, people were listening to Eminem and 50 Cent and all this gangster type shit. And then you had this guy Kanye West come with College Dropout and Graduation that just sort of talked about rap in a more soft manner. So I feel like this
Okay.
completely revolutionized the game, and it's definitely on the same tier as at least Eases.
Okay, that's really interesting actually. I would say, okay, I mean, I can see it changed like rap music a lot. I think there are some other, maybe you could say, debut albums that were like more revolutionary, like King Crimson's first album from 1969 was it basically like created like this whole like movement called progressive rock, and like it was the first kind of rock like album that had that kind of production. And I think there are also others, but I can definitely see in hip hop you could mention this. I also know Illmatic by Nas is also a rap album considered to be maybe the best debut album of all time. It also changed a lot in rap. But
Was
dang,
that also a debut album?
yes, that was a debut album.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, you say actually, so you would say here.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I would not at all put it near Yeezus or Graduation, but it's also because
Bro.
I've only heard it once. I can't say that much about it to be completely honest. I mean, we can put it, we can do A now. We can do A. Uh, when we finish the tier list, we can maybe like see how do we would we change something. But yeah, right now let's put it in A for sure. How about late registration? I know you have a slightly controversial opinion about this album.
I think it's shit. What do you think? What do you think?
That's I feel kind of the same way about this as College Dropout. I don't know why, but I am not a massive fan of this album. Isn't this the album that has that song "Mama Said" or what? Mom
Hey,
song?
Mama, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Mama. I think that's a pretty good song. Didn't think much about the rest, to be honest. To be honest, I didn't take it that serious because I was just listening to it while I think I was walking. So I should have listened to it more, like listened to it more. But for me personally, I would honestly put it, and this is controversial, but at like I don't know, B or C.
Um, I could, the thing is, people would definitely get angry if you put it on C,
Yeah, for sure.
but I just don't think it's better than those, so it's just that kind of tough. But
Do you
C, yeah, I would definitely say yes to C.
do you think it's better than these two albums beside it?
No, I don't think it's better.
That's okay. Interesting. Let's put it at C. Controversial opinions. How about this
Yeah,
songs?
it is.
I mean, this album, Heartless.
Yeah, this album inspired all the new rappers, and they're kind of ass, but you have to give credit for the influence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
It's
what you
the
mean.
icon. It's the iconic Auto-Tune album. And I definitely think it's better than Jesus King, than Kissy Ghost, and Late Registration. So I feel like this is a perfect fit for D because we have to have one in each category.
Okay, we already have done the D. Oh,
No,
you
I mean
said
B.
B.
Sorry, B.
Okay. Yeah, I have not heard this entire album. Sorry, guys. I'm not that much of an ultra, okay, but I have heard actually quite a few songs from it. I think they're catchy and they're good. Um, yeah, D makes a lot of sense. I think. I mean B. So here we go to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think this might be the best hip hop album of all time. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. This is by far the best album of all time. Not even just hip hop. I mean, you have to admit that this is the best album of all time.
That's
Because the sound and the production is insane. Like, I want you to explain it.
the production is amazing. I think all of the features, even those with Nicki, like that feature with Nicki Minaj. Usually, when I hear Nicki Minaj a song, I think it's terrible. I hate the way she raps. I don't know why, but when she appears on this album, I think it's actually really good. There was this song as well called Monster, right?
Hmm.
That song is so good too. So appalled. You don't
Okay,
even like
yeah.
that song very much, but I think it's amazing. Runaway is maybe the best hip hop song of all time, so I would certainly put this in S. I definitely do not agree that it's the best album of all time. That's crazy, but
Yeah.
you could definitely put it at S, for sure.
Yeah, I was actually just trolling because I don't listen to that much music. I only listen to Kanye West and just some other artists. So I was actually just trolling. It would be incredibly ignorant for me to say that it's the best album of all time because I don't know better. But it's very interesting that you don't mention the best songs on the album. You mentioned like "So Appalled." What the fuck? That's
Yeah,
generally
that's
considered one of
amazing.
the worst songs on the album. You don't
Arguably the
mention
best.
"Power." You don't mention
Power,
"All of the
Power's
Light."
overrated. All of
You
the
don't
Light is
mention
good.
"Devil in a New Dress."
I don't like the song that much. What
Okay.
do you think about that song? Uh, Blame Game.
I think it's okay. I've heard people say that it's the worst song ever. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Like they call it obnoxious.
It's crazy, man. I don't understand what that's all about. But
Yeah, it's good.
this next, what about this gold one? What is this?
That's the one I didn't listen to fully, so I don't really know. You probably
Oh,
did though.
no, I don't know. I don't know
But,
what the hell that is.
oh, it's with JC. Yeah, let's just not put that on there because we don't really know.
All right. So I don't know what this white one is either.
It's like a different version of that one as well.
Have you heard it?
No, it's no.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go to one we actually have heard. Life of Pablo. We've both heard this one. I
Yeah, we listen
think.
to like each other, like in our presence, like we listen
Yeah,
to it together.
I remember it, and I think it was super interesting. Actually, like really interesting music. I really like music which is not so easy to predict. As most music is very easy to predict what's gonna happen. Not quite with this album. I found it very unpredictable, and the production
Yeah,
is good, like it is with all Kanye West albums. To be
yeah.
honest, so I would. This is hard for me to rank here. I don't know. I would say slightly worse, slightly worse than Graduation. That's what I would say,
Mm,
but
mm.
significantly better than Heartless, from what I know.
Oh shit, that's a tough one then. That's a very tough one.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me, I would place it on B. That would definitely be respect. Like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
could respect that. But it's a very interesting album and the lore behind it as well. So it's called The Life of Pablo. And I feel like if I remember correctly, I think Pablo is actually Kanye West. And you said that it's an unpredictable album, and it is because it sort of changes between three themes where he tries to sort of navigate who he wants to be in life. So he wants to be this party guy. He wants to also be this Christian guy, and then he wants to be like this good father guy. So he's just trying to navigate through um, his songs, like in terms of what he want, like what kind of person he wants to be, and that's why I feel like you. That's why I think you think the album is very hard to predict. But yeah, B is definitely respectful.
Okay. That's a very interesting analysis of the album. That kind of makes me think quickly about another analysis. I heard once somebody said Kanye West, in real life, he's become the real life, The Wall. I don't know. Have you listened to The
Hello.
Wall? Have you listened to The
Yeah, I do.
Wall? Oh, like the
Mm.
entire album.
No, but I listen to most songs, but not like in order, you know.
Okay, because in order, you know, it's the wall tells the story of like this superstar, like this super famous, like kind of musician guy who does really well, but then he, you know, he doesn't know who the hell he's supposed to be, and he starts to do all this kind of stuff like partying and using all his money and stuff like that, and eventually he just becomes so isolated and he goes completely crazy. That reminds me very much, like somebody said, of Kanye West, super
Yeah,
famous
I agree.
guy, this kind of like rock star lifestyle, and then you know just becomes so isolated and then just becomes super like a completely crazy man. um but this next album is called Yay.
Yeah. So in this, have you listened to this?
No.
Right. So in this album, he actually talks about being like bipolar, as you just mentioned. So it's a
Damn.
very, it's kind of an emo album. I'm not even gonna lie. Like like I remember showing you a song called "I Thought About Killing You."
Yeah, I
It's like
remember.
like it's very itchy, but it's also kind of deep. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of scary. It's very scary.
I see.
So in terms of where to put this, yeah, it's definitely C. It can be no other than C.
But how about putting it at D? What would you say to that? To me, it just seems quite a bit worse than the Jesus is King and Late Registration. I don't think Late Registration is bad.
Fuck, it's tough. We're doing C or D here. I'll let you choose.
Then I would personally choose D, I think. Okay.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay,
I feel
so
like this tier list that we made here is fucking great. Like, I can totally, um, like be responsible for this. Like, I can say to people, yeah, I made this tier list.
I agree. I think this seems pretty good. But here comes the last stage. Do you think that there's anything, because this is a tier list where it's like we both agree. Is there anything you like look at and think, no, I want to change that. I really want to change that.
Let me see.
Because we could also put some and one more in S, for example. You know, doesn't necessarily need to be only one in S. But I mean, I don't know. I do think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is like clearly the best.
Yeah, I feel like this is perfect. If you were asking me, I would put yay in C, but it's what it is. I can
Okay.
still respect this.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think it looks best in D, you know, it's kind of like, looks best in
Yeah,
D,
it
I
does.
think. But yeah, pretty good tier list. Life of Pablo, I think maybe could go to A, but I don't even know. I think this is pretty good. So I think that was a Red Hat video, guys. Red Hat return with a tier list. Do you have anything to say?
I have nothing to say, guys.
Alright, guys, thank you for watching, and please don't get too angry about the tier list, guys. See you later.